Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me. On today's video, I wanted to share with you, I'm running in my CDC and I was working with a couple of my teammates. Now, I wasn't in a platoon and there wasn't a group of us, working together, and surprisingly, it wasn't like somebody was pinging the map or typing in, let's do this, let's do that. It's just more of a couple of guys that have, I guess, similar play style or similar experience on this map, working together. Now, at the beginning here, when the battle starts, I got a little distracted. I'm assuming I went to get something to drink, pour a soda, pour a tea, open a bottle of wine. I don't know. But, so I'm sitting here doing nothing at first, but you can watch the guys spread out, and it's a pretty normal dispersion. Some of the team to the south, some to the north, some going to the Sand River. And so I'm looking at this, and well, actually, I'm looking at this now during the replay. At the time, like I said, I was distracted and had stepped away from the keyboard. But looking at this, you can see that nobody's going to the center area there, the D6, D7 area, or the ridge in the D6, D7 area. So I start driving here, and I'm looking at the map and seeing where everybody dispersed. Now, normally I like to go into the Sand River, or on one edge or the other, and fire into it. But I had noticed that nobody was spotting the center, so I thought, well, let me go over here and spot something, see what I can see. Now, as I'm driving across, somebody spots that T-54 in the enemy team, and I'm thinking, oh crap, he's going to chew me up. But fortunately, somebody fired at him, forced him to pull back, so that gave me the opportunity to get across here without taking a half his clip or more. Because let's face it, nobody wants to drive, on a flat field across in front of an autoloader. Now, I thought for sure by the time I got here, because I started late, some of the enemy would already be, poking out of here, but they weren't. And when I nosed in, I thought for sure I'd get a hit or two, but I didn't. And as you can see, I'm moving back and forth, just going to a new position, back and forth, just poking up, trying to see what I could see, and hoping to spot somebody, and didn't spot anyone. Now, right here, I take a shot in the side of the turret from that Scorpion G. Then he pulls back, so I'm not able to shoot him, but it's because a couple of my teammates are poking that ridge up there also. Now, the STA-1 comes across, and I was already pre-aimed, so I took a shot. And then I back up and, put another shot into him, which I thought that one was going to bounce, because, generally when you're firing at a little piece of the turret like that, it usually does, but that one actually pinned. I was really surprised. So at the moment, at this point, I'm just doing the back and forth and trying to shoot, back and forth, trying to shoot. Now here, he backs up and I fire, and I almost hit one of my teammates. I got really lucky. The RNG dropped the shell into the ground, so that saved me some team damage there. And my team finishes off, that STA-1. Now the Scorpion G looks like he's backtracked out of there, because they're pushing up in that north spot there, and they're not seeing him. Excuse me. Now, I go back to nosing up here, and you can see the T-54E1 comes over to where this little ridge is, the Scorpion G, and the Strongbow S1. So we're all working this spot together and nosing up and spotting stuff and taking shots. Nice T-30. I always like to shoot those. Then I take a hit from T-49 there, which was a pretty big hit. And unfortunately, I didn't see him first, or I don't know, if you're watching the replay, maybe he popped up and I just was too busy looking at the T-30. Now here's a T-54 that I'm not sure what he was doing, but he got himself in a bit of trouble there, and we had 4 tanks shooting at him, so he got punished quickly for that. And as you can see, the T-54 and myself here are working together, both working the ridge, poking, shooting, and now right here it looks like he's reloading his clip, so I go ahead and nose up. Kind of took a spot, but I was also wanting to get to where I could spot to the left over that ridge as well, not just what was in front of me. So I'm taking some shots here at that Centurion, and surprisingly got some bounces, but I did get some pins on him. And the T-54's moved up, and he's shooting some tanks as well. But I've still got those tanks to the left where I'm seeing them, and I'm really surprised they're not shooting me, so they must be really concentrating on the Conqueror down there in the Sand River. Now here I get another shot on that T-30, and unfortunately miss. But the Scorpion to my left gets taken out, and the T-39 comes YOLOing in. I don't know what he was thinking. I can't imagine he forgot the T-54 was there, but maybe he wasn't paying attention and didn't know it, or maybe he was just trying to, zip through there and light up what he could and drive away as fast as he could. Just, a quick little drive-by scouting thing, but that didn't work too well. Me and the T-54 punished him for it. And as you can see, as I nosed up to shoot the T-30 again, I take a shot from the enemy Lorraine 40T there. So, got to be careful when you're poking out. And even though I'd poked up and there was nobody spotted but the T-30, I really shouldn't have sat there. I should have just snapshotted that and pulled back, but that's not what I did. Now, the T-54 was taking some shots from the other ridge as I moved over here, and as you can see, he nosed up after I had taken my shot, and nobody shot him. So he decided to go ahead and push across there. As you can see, he's calling me to follow him. I didn't realize that at the time, and so I wanted to take a shot at this T-26 that he had spotted, and of course that bounced. And just as I took my shot and started back down, you can see the message faded out, and that's when I saw it. And I thought, well, he didn't take a shot going across here. The only thing spotted was that T-26. So I thought, well, I better get over here and cross this plane before the enemy starts aiming their barrels in here. And we're winning 8-4 at this time, so I didn't really expect anybody else to be there besides the T-26 or that Lorraine that I had taken a shot from earlier. But I was able to get across there as well without taking a hit. And so I come over here to just kind of poke around the little ridge a little bit, and the T-26 was clearly ready for me, put a shot into me. When I returned fire, that just went into the ground, really frustrating. Now at this point, this is also what I'm talking about as far as working with your teammates. See, I not only went with him, but I was looking at the mini-map as I was backing up. I saw him sitting behind me, and so I turned inside of him, and I didn't bump him, didn't hit him, because he was ready to take out that T-26, and he did fire, but the Prima Victoria behind us actually took out the T-26. But you see what I'm saying, though. He was aimed and ready to support me, and I didn't back up and hit him because none of us like being bumped when we're aimed at an enemy. So I was trying to show him, that same courtesy that I expect from other players. So I didn't bump him, and he was ready, but the T-26 finished him. So we crossed the plane here, and because there's only 4 enemy tanks left, so I get a shot into the 907, 704, and so he's turning real slow. So I take a second shot. And then when he fires at me, he hits the rim there and misses me, fortunately. And then I nose forward to take a shot at the IS-3. Excuse me. And I swear that hit the gun mantlet, but it must have went in the top of the tank because it penned. And so I get another shot into him here and then back up. And then as you can see, there's the Udes there, which the T-54 takes out for me. No, actually, that's Prima Victoria as well. Wow, he's quite good. So I go to take another shot at the IS-3 and it bounces, and the IS-3 takes me out. I didn't really think he had the gun elevation to get me, but I guess he did. And then as you can see, my team took out the rest of the other tanks, so we were able to pull a victory there. Now I got a first class in the CDC, and as you can see with that gold ribbon there, this is my first class ribbon. I was really pleasantly surprised. I didn't think I had played it that well. But when you're looking at stats here, you can see I also got the Confederate badge. I like that. But what surprised me is you can see here I got #1 in damage and #1 in XP. And as you can see here, looking at the damage that the team did, it was really spread out. Everybody was really contributing. Almost everybody got over 1,000, and the one that didn't get any damage at all was a light tank, so I'm assuming he did some spotting. As you can see, I got 2,353 spotting damage myself, and 135,000 credits net. Now, I was running a credit booster, which really helped, but still, that's a lot of credits. But as you can see, if you work together with your team, and there are more than one ways to do it, you can pull the win. Thank you.